Hey everybody, how you doing? Congrats on not killing yourself this week. I'm super proud of you. Yay! You survived. You survived another week on planet Earth. Give yourself a goddamn pat on the back, okay? We don't give ourselves enough credit for not committing suicide. And that's my stance. I'm happy you're here. Honored to be the voice in your head. Your girl, KRYSTYNA Marie Hutchinson. Thank you so much. I do wish there was an option on every car where when you go to honk a horn, but it's not an emergency honk, it's just like a excuse me honk. I wish that there was a excuse me level of a car horn, because I would be getting into so many fewer fights on these streets. Because when someone's like in front of your car but they're not looking, but like you're like trying to drive like down the road, not even parked. You're driving and someone just walks into the middle of the road and stops. That happens. I don't know why. I don't know. But, and you just want to be like, excuse me, because they're on the phone or something and they're looking the other way. And you're like, if I honk full honk, which is the only honk you could do in a car, they're going to be pissed. And that's happened to me. I had a woman walking in front of my car, stopped, looked the other way, didn't look towards me, couldn't see that I was trying to go. And I honked at her, but I was trying to do the light honk. Nothing was happening. There was no sound. I was like, not a full, just a, excuse me. And so, but I couldn't. So I had to honk because I was running late. I had to go, girl. It's New York City. Come on. We're all running late. Why aren't you running late? Are you okay? What's going on? And I honked and she got so mad. She threw an iced coffee in my car. I'm like, well, I hate you.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, girl, she was startled. And I get it. It wasn't the right move, but like she didn't have a second to think. It was a fight or flight immediately because the car horn, I could tell this car horn scared the absolute shit out of her. You know what I mean? And she got pissed. And she got pissed and I was so understanding. Normally I'd be like, fuck you. And I would just use it as an excuse to like up my anger and my rage. And just like jerk off to it, my head, my spirit. But no, I totally understood why she did that because she was scared. But I'm also like, don't walk in front of my car and just stand there and text. Okay? Thank you. Also, such exciting news. Britney Spears is back on Instagram. Fucking knew it. Thanks, girl. Oh, she's got some great posts. 9 hours ago, she posted a video of herself dancing in this cool like Michael Jackson hat. And she captioned it, feeling it coming back. I want pancakes. Love you, Britney. Oh, I love you so much. You are a national treasure. And sometimes watching your Instagram videos makes me uncomfortable, but I realize it's because it's a mirror to humanity because we did this to you. This is not your fault in any way, okay? And I really applaud you on behaving in public as mentally ill as you feel. If I could do that, I would be in a psych ward. And then she shared 3 weeks ago, it was a picture of her butt. It's a bathroom mirror selfie, but from behind. And she's in a black thong. And the caption reads, you know me? ? Me don't know English. Say hello to my ass. What? That doesn't make sense. Then she posted a 6-page long carousel of screenshots of a note that she wrote about Kate Beckinsale. Loved that one. And then, she posted a video of her dancing 7 weeks ago, and she said in the caption, I haven't danced in so long. The last time I danced, I was dancing with knives. People say I shouldn't post those. It's been 9 months since I've danced, but I did it last night. It's not very good, but I did it. And you know what? Yeah, you fucking did. Good for you, girl. Britney Spears back on Instagram. Give her a follow. She's got a lot of followers. Good for you, girl. There's probably so many companies trying to like put ads with her because she has so many fucking followers that putting an ad on Britney Spears' Instagram, it's like a Super Bowl ad. It's going to be seen by a lot of people. And she's like, nope, just my knives videos and my ass and rants about actresses I love. And I love that for you. I love it so much. Speaking of money, I'm really, this last couple months, I've been really paying attention to how much money I'm spending, and it's great. It's actually really empowering. Once you get over the shame hump, which that's pretty bleak. That's a bummer, especially if you're a perfectionist and you feel like you need to work to earn love, and that if you fuck up even minorly, that you should be just ousted by society and the world. Doing something like overspending and not looking at the income coming in and your spending going out. It's difficult for somebody who's shamefully a perfectionist. But I got over the hump. Hell yeah. Still carry a lot of shame, but that's okay because I'm working on it. Okay. But it's so fun to save money. I'm clipping coupons. Yo, there was an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians years ago, and I never really watched that show, but I remember this one episode I watched. And Kourtney Kardashian was clipping up coupons in her living room, and she had a folder of all these coupons. And then, I don't know if it was Kim or Khloe, they're like, Kourtney, why are you clipping coupons? You're a millionaire. And I was like, guys, don't get on her for clipping coupons. But a part of me was also like, yeah, bitch, who cares? Because I was still in my spend. Money grows on trees. We're never going to die. And now I have that Kourtney Kardashian clipping coupon energy. I was at CVS the other day. First of all, auditing all my Chase business card statements. I spend most of my money on groceries and CVS. The amount of money CVS gets from me and my grocery store, woo, not cute. Ooh, inflation. It's not what's for dinner because we can't afford dinner because of inflation. But I was at CVS and, you know, when you do the self-checkout, they're like, do you want a receipt? And then you can say no. And I used to always say no. And every time I would say no, they're like, cool, we're going to print one anyway and like fuck up the environment. Here's a tree. But then on those receipts are a lot of coupons. So the other day I was at CVS. I had to buy a lot of stuff, you know, curly hair, a lot of maintenance. A woman face, a lot of maintenance. Okay. I got shit for my skin. And I'm a cleaner. I clean my home. Not every day, but most days. That's a lot of Windex, and I use paper towels like they'll never go away. I actually kept a log of the times I've used paper towels and why, and I'll read it next episode. The shame from that is still with me. Anyway, I went to CVS and the total for my purchase was $127. And then I was like, not today, girl, because I got coupons. Okay. I got that rainforest that you ruined. I got the coupons on it. Okay. I turned $127 CVS bill to $83. I was so pumped over that. I could have ran a marathon. I could have ran a half marathon. I could have ran around the block with that energy, man, real fast. I could have sprinted one time around the block. One time. That's how excited I was. You know? I love that my priorities are changing as I love getting older. Society doesn't like that, but I really love it for many reasons. But one of them, my priorities are finally like adults. Yay, better late than never. But I used to get my highs from drugs, booze, sex, balls, tits, ass, pussies. But now I get my highs from chasing a sick discount. And that's a way better way to live. Okay. Some may say lamer, but I say safer for my heart and my bank account. It's so great. Speaking of priorities changing, I mean, this has always been the case for me, but I love a fat ass. Love a fat ass. As a straight woman, I wish I wasn't straight, but I wish I was bisexual. I would date all y'all bitches. Anyway.
I thought you kind of were.
I tried to be.
It just didn't take.
No, I went out on dates with girls and they were lovely. And I had sex with some of them, but I was like, I'm not gay at all.
You just weren't, you didn't like the sex with them? Like you were just, it didn't get there?
I was really uncomfortable and I still can't tell if I was uncomfortable. I was really young, but I still can't tell if I was uncomfortable as in like the first time you have an intimate sexual encounter with anybody, like in your formative years, it's so fucking uncomfortable. And you're like, what am I doing? I couldn't tell if it was that or if that I wasn't grossed out though. Like I ate a girl out, baby.
Nice.
I loved it. It's great.
Yeah, it's fun.
And then she ate me out and it was great. And then we did all the rubbing together. It was awesome. But I was like, I need the dick. I need the dick. I wish I didn't. But anyway, I was at an event yesterday. It was an outdoor like block party type of event. And I was sitting at a table with I was there because a band was playing that I know, and I was sitting with them. And it was me and a bunch of guys. And the block party it was a restaurant row, and so they closed the street and the restaurants, expanded their seating to the street. We were in front of this one restaurant. I forget what it was called. It was in White Plains. And clearly they only hire waitresses with fat asses. And they very clearly let them know that if you want to keep your job, you got to flaunt that fat ass. So they was flaunting that fat ass. And I love a fat ass. Love fat ass. But it was so funny. I came back to the table and all the guys, they looked uncomfortable. And I was like, what? You guys okay? And then I quickly realized that the place we were at hired ladies with fat asses and made them flaunt them. And they were trying not to ogle over the fat asses in front of me. And I'm like, that's very nice. And I appreciate the respect. But like, a fat ass is a fat ass. Titties is titties. You want to look at them? I want to look at them. It's okay. It's not illegal. But they were so like distracted. And these are two completely separate urges I am about to describe. Okay. They do both stem from the reproductive system, but two totally different like desires. But I found myself just as distracted. I wasn't sexually interested in what I was looking at in any way, but I was there's this thing called cuteness aggression, where if something's so cute, you just want to you just go insane. Kind of like a straight guy staring at a lady's fat ass, you know? But you don't want to, do anything to the cute thing. You just want to like explode because it's so fucking cute and you can't take it. And you're like overwhelmed by the feelings. There was kids in glasses murder me. Okay. Little kids, I'm talking 6 and below with eyeglasses. I will have a seizure on the street. It's so cute. I can't take it. And so there was this fucking little girl. Oh, she was so cute. She was like 5 and she had pigtails and she was so precious and she had purple glasses on. And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't concentrate. I was in the middle of a conversation and I'm like, I just have to just take in this lovely little girl with these glasses and just calm myself because she's so fucking cute. So it was kind of similar, but totally different. Anyways. I get distracted by children with glasses. Also, dogs. I mean, if a dog is anywhere near me, I'm just like, no one else exists. I'm only talking to this dog. If we were in the middle of an important conversation, sorry, we're going to have to put a pin in it and have it the next day. Fucking dogs and kids with glasses. Okay, here's a fun story. I'm pretty sure I can tell it. I'm going to anyway. I hope it's okay. I did a Fox News Saturday night panel. And I filmed it last week. And I love doing the show. My friend hosted. He's great. The motto of the show is, I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. Just don't be a dick. And I think that a program that really pushes that type of message, especially on Fox News, is super fucking important. And comedians, we're the truth tellers. Bitch. Okay? So to have a platform for stand-up comedians who are mostly liberal, not all of them though, some of them are conservative Republicans, there's not a lot, can get digs in that communicate how angry and frustrated we are. And it's a really great, it's very cathartic. It's very cathartic. So I did Fox News Saturday night and I made a joke. We didn't get much prep in advance. We just got a couple topics. Sometimes we'll get articles, but we just got topics. One of them was inflation. So I was trying to write jokes in advance because yes, I am funny off the cuff, but when you're in a television studio and there's fucking lights in, you just got your makeup, it's overwhelming. So you want to make sure you're as prepared as possible. So as a stand-up comedian's job going on a panel show, you write jokes up until you film. And the joke I made was about Kimberly Guilfoyle. Do you know who Kimberly Guilfoyle is, Michael?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So she
Donald Trump Jr.'s
wife,
yeah.
Married, what used to be married to Gavin Newsom.
Yep.
What a 180 that was. The joke was commentary on inflation, but also Kimberly's face. Okay. Now look. Before I did I looked up I looked her up because I was like, oh, I have this joke that I want to say about Kimberly Guilfoyle, and it's at the expense of her looks. Now, when it's a woman, I have to this is my own personal thing. If you're a comedian and you want to make fun of, you have that right. And then the audience has the right to have however they feel about it. Okay. My personal morals and values with joke writing in terms of insulting people's looks. If it's a woman and I'm going to insult her looks, you got to be ugly on the inside too. Okay. I'm not going to make fun of a woman who's ugly on the outside and beautiful on the inside. That's just not, it's not in my bones. Okay. I'm sure I have at some point in my life, I could just feel the internet going, that's not true. I'm going to get a clip. Sure. Maybe. But as I've developed, I've been doing stand-up comedy for over a decade. You change your morals and values because you interrogate yourself and you go, am I living up to my own standards here in all these various ways? What are my standards? Should I redo my standards? And usually the answer is yes, as you grow because you learn and you evolve. So anyway, I was looking up Kimberly Guilfoyle's speech at the Republican National Convention because that's where the image of her, it was in my head that inspired this fucking joke. And look, being a woman is hard. And apparently, from my observations, I haven't experienced this yet in quite a degree, but I'm only in my 30s. I'm still young, baby. I'm a baby. I'm a seed. I'm a calf. I'm a fawn. It only gets harder for women as they get older because society, the most offensive thing, according to society, that you can be in this world is an aging woman. Okay. And so I'm not about piling on what society's already given you, unless you're also ugly on the inside. Lucky for me, Kimberly Guilfoyle's also ugly on the inside. Okay. But yeah, being an unfuckable woman is the worst thing you can be in this world, according to society. Like when everybody was up in arms about Amani Khalif, I was so fucking annoyed. I was just like, just because you don't want to fuck her doesn't mean she's not a woman. Okay? Like, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Don't want you to get anything good. Just because a woman can beat your ass doesn't mean she's not a woman, sorry she was training for the Olympics. But that's the goal when you're in the Olympics for boxing or fighting or whatever the fuck she was in. I think it was boxing. Anyway, also too, if Amani one day was like, you know what, I am trans, I'd be like, cool, yay. And then if the next day she was like, never mind, I'm a man, I'm like, sir, yes, sir, And then if the next day she was like, actually, I'm a woman, I changed my mind, I'm like, hell yeah, queen. I don't care. My point is, who gives a fuck? Let a bitch live, right? Can we let a bitch live? Can we let a bitch live? Anyway, back to Kimberly Guilfoyle. So I was looking up her speech at the RNC. I watched it, and then I was looking up quotes. The way she gives it, she's like, I'm not America. Here's some quotes. Now Americans are drowning in inflation. Insanity spreads like a cancer in our schools. You mean kids with guns? I don't think that's what she meant. We are closer to World War III than any time in my life. I mean, okay. And we are facing unprecedented invasion of millions of illegal aliens across our southern border. And I know she's referring to aliens as in people from another country, but in my head, I'm like, well, how cool would it be if she was actually referring to like E.T., That'd be cool. Can you imagine Kimberly Guilfoyle like, we need to take these extraterrestrials and put them in their place. And then the extraterrestrials who have way more advanced communication would be like, really, bitch? Boom, laser, you're gone. See ya. She says, rioters and looters are going free. Not the ones from January 6th. Remember those rioters and looters? A lot of them got jail time and arrested. So they didn't go free. I don't know what you're talking about. I hope you saw that on TV, girl. Were you busy that day? While Biden and the Democrats persecute American heroes like Donald Trump. Oh, okay. Your version of hero is skewed. In our vision, we will secure the southern border and deport the violent criminal aliens. Again, it would just be so funny if it's like E.T. in a jail costume. Once and for all. Oh, God. In our vision, America will combat foreign aggressors and ensure our service members are protected, not abandoned, as they carry out their dangerous missions abroad, because we can only have peace through strength, except if you're an American who served in the military and now you're a homeless vet. Because, ew, get off my stoop. You smell bad. Ew, I'm not going to give you shelter. Fuck you. Oh, you served my country? I need to go to work. I need to get a Manny. Can you excuse me? Why are you lying on my stoop? Yeah, we're really good to vets. We're really good to vets. The Democrat vision for America is governed by fear, hatred, and political oppression. This is how she was talking. This is crazy. Our vision is defined by a love of our country, love for our fellow citizens. Yeah, except the black ones and the pregnant ones and the poor ones. America doesn't like that. Oh, and the native ones. Remember the native ones that were here first? We were here first. We were here first. Guess who was actually here first? Native Americans. And now they don't got nowhere to live, and alcoholism is running rampant because we ruined them, okay? Us whiteys ruined them and their soul and their spirit, and those motherfuckers knew what was up, okay? They knew how to work with nature. They knew all about the psychic powers, and you bet your fucking ass they knew about aliens. Look it up if you don't believe me. I watched several documentaries about it. And a love for our fellow citizens and a love of our freedom, except for the people that you put in cages for doing drugs. Those people aren't free. We will restore an era of national pride where freedom of speech is respected and cancel culture has ended, where high school girls only compete with other girls, not biological men, and where we teach our children to love our country, learn our history, and respect our American flag. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Kimberly Guilfoyle is married to Donald Trump Jr., which he has such a punchable face. And I found a new urge in me that I've never really felt before when I look at Donald Trump Jr.'s face, because, oh boy, watch a couple of clips of him talking online and you're like, speaking of fuckboy theater, that he's all fuckboy theater all day. Okay. But when I see his face, sometimes I'm like, this is going to be terrible. So if you're eating, put it down. Put it down. You know, if you're a woman, you get what I'm saying. But if you're a man, here's a little fun little thing you didn't know. Maybe you did. But sometimes women will get our periods, and then the early, like day 1, day 2, we'll also have diarrhea. Okay. And I just want to have a diarrhea period day and just sit on his face. I want to sit on it. I don't want to go to jail for murder because if that stuff gets in his eye, I don't know how that's going to go. But I do eat well. I'm going to start a macrobiotic diet. Anyway, Donald Trump Jr. can suck my dick. Okay? He can suck my dick. So the joke I made, it's a stupid joke. Honestly, the main thing, I'm like, should I say this? Is this funny or not? Like, I wasn't worried about the ethics of it because I already did my research. But the joke I made was inflation has gone from my face to Kimberly Guilfoyle's face. Okay? And if you saw Kimberly Guilfoyle's face, bitch loves filler. Now, I love filler, Botox, nose job, rhinoplasty, whatever the things you could do to your face. God bless, baby. I know the society we live in. I walk in it. It sucks. Okay? So I get it. But there's some ladies that it's like they don't get it, where they're really, and I can only take it to be like, wow, you're internalizing society's absolute bullshit vision of you. So I don't blame you in any way. But if you're ugly on the inside, I'm going to comment on it. Okay? Like Kimberly Guilfoyle. I was very comfortable commenting on that. Anyway, so I made this joke. And, you know, whatever. It was fun. The people laughed in the studio. Okay, you move on. I didn't think anything of it. And then I learned Donald Trump Jr., while we were filming the show, was in Florida. He was waiting to go on a Fox News show. As he was waiting, he had a monitor of the studio feeds. He had a monitor of our show as we were filming it while he was waiting to go on this other show. He saw me and heard me make this joke about his wife's fucking face. And he got pissed. So first place moments in my life being in the Beyonce documentary. First place always. But second place, pissing off Donald Trump Jr. by saying inflation has gone from my face to Kimberly Guilfoyle's face. Give me a round of applause again. Thank you. I'm so proud of myself. Now, pretty sure they cut my joke. They cut it. They cut it out of the program. Because I don't have cable right now because I canceled all my subscriptions because I'm addicted to saving money, okay? And so I couldn't watch it live. But the comments on the Instagram, I looked and they're like, the mop top gal was quiet. And I'm like, that means I cut the jokes. Damn it. But it doesn't matter. I get why they did it. It's fine. But he saw it. He saw it and he was mad. So proud of myself. Dude, Donald Trump. Okay, I have a serious question for you. For people who, I don't know if there's there's got to be statistically some people listening to this who plan on voting for Trump. And I understand, I don't need to understand why you're doing it, but I want to understand why you're doing it. I really want to. I'm genuinely curious and not a condescending way. And I can understand, like, with the Biden versus Trump, the people voting for Trump, I totally understand why. Right? Because, you watch that debate, you're like, oh no, are a weekend at Bernie's or a guy who can talk? You know? I'll take the guy who can talk even though he doesn't talk good. And so, but then when Kamala came in, I'm like, oh, first of all, what? A fucking woman, a woman of color? This is the best! And then Trump's gonna lose to a black woman. It's like such poetry to my soul. But now I'm genuinely curious, and I mean this. DM me on AIM at xtina143. DM me on Instagram at Christina Hutch. If you plan on voting for Trump, I'm so curious as to why. I get the angle of I hate politicians and he was never a politician, so he's like totally someone different. I get that. Politicians suck. I totally get it. Not Tim Walz, though. Oh my God, I love him. I love him so much. He's healing me. Tim Walz is healing my soul. I fucking love him. And guess what? Tim Walz is debating JD Vance in October in New York City. I'm going to fucking get my Hitachi magic wand out, get the popcorn, and fucking watch that. I'm going to put my phone off. I'm not even going to put it on airplane mode. I'm probably going to have my phone on so I can tweet. But I'm very excited about that. But I was looking up clips of Donald Trump in research to do the Fox thing. And when he talks, he doesn't say anything. So my question to people wanting to vote for Trump, do you notice that? Do you notice that when he says stuff, he's not actually saying anything? He's just, well, and then the inflation, it's the worst it's ever been. It's like, there's no point. He's not making a point. And so I'm like, well, maybe are you voting for him? If you plan on voting for him, is it because you hate America and you're like, fuck you, this is the president we deserve? I can understand it. It's not just because I understand it doesn't mean I agree with it, but I understand it. And I'm really curious to understand why. Really, why? DM me at Christina Hutch. I want to know if you have articles, and also too, if you have articles, send them to me that are your beef with Kamala. I want to read them. First of all, nobody's perfect. Okay. So anybody be like, well, one time she did this. No shit, dude. If there was an article about every terrible fucking thing I did, I wouldn't be able to leave my house. It's not that bad. It's mostly overusing paper towels. There's a lot of paper towels. I gotta stop. But if you have an article, I want to read it. But too many motherfuckers are saying, I don't like Kamala. And then I go, why? And they're like, I don't know. What? Look, politics are exhausting. And I only care when it's presidential, I care. When it affects women's rights, I care. Okay? These women in Texas are not being seen by fucking doctors when their fallopian tubes are exploding because abortion is illegal and the doctor doesn't want to get arrested. That I care about that. I care very deeply about that. But yeah, I'm just so curious. Donald Trump is turning into that Kristen Wiig Weekend Update character that one-ups everybody. Oh, you love outer space? I own outer space. I live on Mars. Oh my God. Yeah. I love Saturn. And the sun is my car. Like that is him. It's not even, what? How do you vote? How do you vote for him? I'm not even stressed out about it. I'm deeply invested in maintaining some semblance of understanding. The only two options I can think of is he's not a politician and you don't like politicians. And then, the third one is taxes. If you're rich, I guess. But I'd rather pay the taxes. Okay. But I get if you don't, but I'm curious. Just DM me. Guys, I keep watching these near-death experience videos online, and it's giving me so much wisdom. And one of the most the moments in these NDE videos that pique my curiosity the most, that I'm just so glued to, is when not all of them talk about this, but most of them talk about a life review. And it's always these moments that they're like, this is the moment I'm being showed? Wow. Which makes me go, okay, so it's not about this like big, huge things that we do on this planet. It's about these little moments of like how we love. And so a lot of these life review moments that these NDE people describe are like the one, this nurse woman, she was taken to this moment. I think I talked about it on the show, where she was in nursing school. They were doing shifts in the hospital, and there was a nurse in her shift that had a very gossipy energy. But this woman who had ended up dying, and going back to this moment, she didn't say anything to the gossipy nurse. She just thought to herself, I don't like that energy, so I'm going to kind of keep my distance. I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? Is that bad? Fuck. Shit, that's bad? Because if that's bad, you're going to have a lengthy life review. But she was taken to, the thing that really affected me about that, she was taken to a moment in this gossipy nurse's childhood. And she saw a scene where she was being sexually assaulted, the girl, as a little girl, by her father for a number of years. And she saw what damage that did to her spirit and her soul. And then she got taken back and had this realization of, oh my God, you went through one of the most heinous things a human being can experience at the hands of a parent that was supposed to protect you. And you still ended up going into a career where you could help people. And that I can't, oh, fuck, I think about it. That was so poignant and powerful to me. But also I was like, God damn it. I got to stop judging people in my head. That's going to take a second. That's going to take a lot of journaling. That's going to take a lot of I think I should, God, I wish you could turn your brain off. But you can't. You can't. But so anyway, so I always have in my tiny interactions with people, I'm like, I want to leave everybody who crosses paths with me, whether it's on the elevator or we're just walking on the street or whatever, and especially in the car because your girl got road rage. I'm really trying to work on that. Really trying. And I apologized in my head to everybody I've ever been mean to on the road and just in life.
In your head?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not there. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, so sorry.
That's like an apology, I guess.
And that works for me. But so all these tiny moments of like, you know, I have to go to the front desk of my building to get like you want to be just kind. And if the person's having a bad day, these NDE videos have totally improved the way I interact with people. Because when somebody's having a bad day, now I meet them with understanding. And I'm like, you know what? They were just rude as shit to me. Like this is obviously after the TSA agent incident. You know, you're rude as shit to me. That sucks. You must be going through something really tough that you can't control your emotions. I've been there most times of my life, most seconds. So I'm approaching things with understanding, but I'm realizing I'm getting like, and this is my ego talking, I'm getting like too understanding of people. Like the other day I was walking Kevin and this fucking guy on a scooter, this lovely man on a scooter, delivery guy almost ran Kevin over. He almost hit my dog. And, oh, Mama Bear gonna come get you, okay? If you fuck with my dog, you fuck with me, you're gonna die. That's what I said initially. And then I go, no, Christina, remember all these moments in your life. And then my brain's going, you know, and it was on the sidewalk, okay? Don't ride a motorized scooter on the sidewalk. They're for the road, you fuck. You lovely fuck. Okay. But then I started thinking in my head, you know, maybe when he was a kid and him and his dad were on the sidewalk and his dad pushed him off and he's like, I never get to take up space on a sidewalk. So he devoted his life to taking up space on the sidewalk. And I'm like, all right, Christina, this is too much. This is too much. This is too much. Stop. Just get pissed and then keep going and then don't say anything. Okay. I think the energy that I would like to bring to the rest of 2024 and all of 2025, and honestly, the rest of my life, I want to bring Beyonce in the elevator with Jay-Z and Solange energy, okay? I'm talking my sister's punching the shit out of my husband, and I'm in the elevator, and we're all dressed to the nines, and we're about to go outside and get the million paparazzis into a limo, and my sister's punching my husband, and I'm just chilling. I'm just zen. Nothing else exists. I am an ocean. My feet are the roots of a tree. I'm connected to the core of the earth. Like that's the energy I'm going to try to bring. Beyonce in the elevator with Solange and Jay. Let's see how long it lasts. Okay. Now for a segment that I'm so excited to talk about. It is time, you guys, for aliens in the afterlife and psychic magical powers. Oh my. What? Look at him. Ooh, Scully, get out of my bathroom. Scully, stop. E.T., get out of here. Okay. So this segment is going to be longer. I'm not doing Fuckboy Theater. And this, at the end of today's episode, I'm going to, actually, at the end of this segment, I've decided, I'm going to, after I share these three things that are personal for mine, and if you have a personal experience of communicating with somebody after they passed away, getting a sign from your team of light or something, or a crazy coincidence, or you have a magical power, you're a psychic or whatever, DM your girl at KRYSTYNA Hutch. I check my DMs. Send me a DM. And if you have not DM'd me before, if I've never responded to you and you want to send me a photo or a video, and you're like, it won't allow me, I will eventually check the DM. I'll accept it. And I'll put it in my general inbox, and you'll be able to send it to me. Okay. Cause I want proof. I want proof. I am, as much as I want all this stuff to be 100% real, I also carry a sense of skepticism that I think is very healthy to this topic. Okay. Anyway, so these 3 experiences. So I was talking to a good friend, Alan Steinfeld, because we are going to be incorporating here on the Voices in Our Heads, an element of the show that is, going to be very exciting, a live call-in with people who can talk to dead people. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Get ready. Get fucking excited. Okay, it's going to be fucking great. It's going to be live.
Yeah, we're announcing soon.
Yeah,
we don't have it fully planned yet, but we're getting there.
It's in the works.
Should be within the next week.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's a full body yes for me, dog. Anyway, I was talking to Alan. I was asking him for reputable medium recommendations, and he every time I ask him for a recommendation of like anything with this shit, he's like, here you go. And he wrote the book Making Contact. I highly recommend reading it, checking it out. It is a gorgeous book, and it's so eye-opening and educational and beautiful about aliens and ETs and UFOs and the history of it. And there's a lot of guest authors who used to work for the government, so it's legit. Okay. But he gave me some recs, and then he said, just on a whim, he goes, oh, by the way, you should get a hug from Amma at the Javits Center this weekend. And I didn't know what any of those words meant. I knew hug and I knew Javits Center, but I was like, what? Amma? Wait, what? So I looked it up, and it's this woman. So here's, this is an article from 2019 from The Guardian. Hugging the Hugging Saint. Amma made others cry, but it was different for me, by Bridget Delaney. And she just has an experience that she describes in this article. But one of the things she says, Amma, a Hindu guru known as the Hugging Saint, who has hugged more than 37 million people worldwide. That's a lot of hugs. And runs a massive charity from Kerala in India. Is a big deal. She's hugged everyone from Sting to lepers, sucking pus from their contagious wounds. The leopards, not Sting. Thanks for clarifying, Bridget. But yeah, so I went to this event. Amma, she's known as Mother for her selfless love and compassion towards all beings. Her entire life has been dedicated to alleviating the pain of the poor and those suffering physically and emotionally. And this is from her Wikipedia page. Throughout her life, Amma has embraced and comforted more than 40 million people. Amma inspires, uplifts, and transforms through her embrace, her spiritual wisdom, and through her global charities known as Embracing the World. When asked where she gets the energy to help so many people, she answers, where there is true love, anything is effortless. Okay, girl. Who run the world, girls? While Amma is widely regarded as one of India's foremost spiritual leaders, now India, very spiritual place, okay? Amma says that her religion is love. Okay, girl. She has never asked anyone to change their religion, but only to contemplate the essential principles of their own faith and try to live accordingly. Okay, so I looked this up, and I was like, a hug from Amma. And in my head, I was like, wait, like, what if you, like, hug her and, like, it activates your psychic powers? So I was like, can I go? And I looked it up. It was at the Javits Center. There was a bunch of day events, but there was a night event, and I happened to have that whole night free. And I was like, I think I'm going to go down to the Javits Center and hug this queen. Okay? And I came into this experience with a very healthy level of respect for the culture, because it ain't my culture. I'm just some whitey walking in. You fucking shut up and you listen and you respect it. Okay? Respect for the culture. Curiosity, because, I mean, I'm an endless well of that. And skepticism, because I'm like, what is, I don't know what this is. I'm just curious. Okay. But also skeptical and just to see, I just want to observe. And I went, and it was in a room in the Javits Center. Thousands and thousands of people were there. And you get in line, you get a ticket, and your ticket, it corresponds, you get like a number that will be called later on, because basically what's happening is all these people are going to fill these seats. It's a free event, by the way. And there are vendors selling things and stuff so they can make money. I mean, they got to make fucking money. And they're asking for donations to their charity, but this is a free event. So if I wanted to go there and not spend $1, I could have done that. So for that, Amma, way to live by your fucking morals, baby girl. Baby girl hugging a queen. So I was like, this is so interesting. And behind me was this woman who was really lovely. She was around my mom's age, probably a little younger, but she was so sweet. And I was like, that's nice. And we like bonded. And I talked all about near-death experiences and mediumship. And I shared all this info. And I gave her like, I texted her all these videos because she mentioned she had a friend who was going through the dying process. He was really scared. I'm like, oh, okay. So I think this video is going to help, whatever. So we were exchanging. It was great. But I'd never been. So I was like, what is this? And it was a stage and thousands of chairs, folding chairs. And eventually she comes on, Amma comes on, and it's this portly, short, older Indian woman. She looked like she had some stories. She looked like, I don't want you to cradle me. I get it why you're you wanted a hug from her. And I was like, this is interesting. I didn't feel anything, but there was a lot of people there from all different cultures, and they were crying. A lot of people had gotten hugs from her before. And I saw my friend Alan at the convention before Amma came out, and he was with a woman, and he was like, oh my God, you came. I didn't think you were going to come. I'm like, yeah, it kind of I was available and I was curious. So I came. And he was like, I'm so happy. That's great. And I was talking to this woman who got a hug from Amma, and Alan was like, it activated her like spiritually and psychically a lot, this hug. And I was like, oh, low key, that's why I'm here. And I kind of like, for selfish reasons, really want to see if I get psychic powers from this. And so he's like, well, you might. You're going to get activated somehow. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. So she comes out. She talks in her native language, and then it's not transcribed. It's translated. And it was beautiful. Her speech was beautiful, just about just sentiments. It was like a sermon at a church, like a really good one. I've been to church not many times in my life, but only a few times has the pastor, the preacher, whatever, given a really beautiful speech. And I'm like, good for you, because if you're not giving a beautiful speech that sticks with the people of the church, you're missing out on a big opportunity. You got the floor. Everyone's looking at you. We're all here for like a good reason, because we want to connect to ourselves, or God or whatever. So it was like a beautiful sermon. And then it was time to line up for the hugs. And I had gotten there mad early. So I got my hug pretty quick. But you had to take your shoes off. You had to put your phone away. And then you could give her an offering. So I bought two things. I bought a facial serum because I gotta buy something, And I bought a thing of flowers to give to her as an offering, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what am I supposed to do? And it was very well organized. So eventually I waited in line, and then I got I was barefoot, and then you just move seats for like 30 minutes. You're just moving seat to seat and you get closer to her. And she hugs the shit out of you, man. She hugs the shit out of you. But I was like, wait, do I give her the flowers first? Or do I? Okay, no. Okay, cool. I was very awkward. But she gave me a hug. And you're supposed to put your forehead on her shoulder, either her left or her right one, because they're like, don't put your face against her face. I'm like, I wasn't planning to, but obviously you're saying this because someone was. And so I got the hug from her. It was a long hug. It was like a fucking 30-second hug. And she had like a big bosom. It was really nice. And also I wanted to go and get psychic powers, but I was also like, maybe this will heal my mother hunger wound. And maybe it did. I do feel good. But I got the hug from her, and it was cool. It was cool. There was parts of it that were, I'm like, is this culty? It felt a little culty, a little like, whenever a spiritual leader is like, you need me in order to get this, I don't trust it. I'm very weary of that. And so like a medium who just tells you you can't talk to your loved ones unless you have me, that's not true. That's a red flag. Or run, bitch, and don't spend any money on that lady or guy. But yeah, it was really interesting, really cool. And I did feel some type of activation. So I don't know if you know the chakra systems, but you have your sacral chakra, the chakra below your belly button. I was running 2 days later because Alan was like, it might happen like a couple of days later. It's not going to happen like immediately. I'm like, okay, cool. Because I didn't really feel much, but it was lovely to get a hug from a lady. And I was running, and I felt like when you have like a really, really big crush on somebody, but you don't know them yet, and they don't know you, but you're about to get to know them, and you're like, let's go, baby. We are about to jump off this cliff of bliss. Okay? I'm about to get to know you. It doesn't even matter how it goes. Obviously, you want it to go well, but it's just going to be exciting getting to know somebody that stirs your loins. Do you know what I mean? It's a great feeling. Oh, if I could bottle it up, I'd be a billionaire. Would never have any debt ever. As I was running, I started feeling that feeling out of nowhere in my sacral chakra. And it felt like this is more in my mind's eye, but it felt like a swirling. And I was like, okay. I don't know what this means, but okay. I'll take it. So I don't know. That's all from that experience. But it was I've never had that feeling before and out of nowhere. And I was like, maybe that was her. Who knows? But guess what, guys? Maybe next week, I'm going to be psychic as hell. Okay. So that was one story I wanted to say. And then the other one, Michael, can you get out your phone for me? Because I'm going to need you to look at something on my Instagram. If you go to my Instagram at KRYSTYNA Hutch, you have, when you post stories, you can make highlights of stories. I have a highlight. I think it's called What the Fuck Is That? And it's things that I see in the sky. And I don't, look, if I see something and I'm like, is it an alien? And then it turns out to be a plane. Oh, darn. I don't care. If you're not going to hurt me or make a dent in any way, like some of y'all think when you're like, actually, that's a satellite. Okay, cool. Well, I was going to film it anyway, just in fucking case. Okay. If it's a satellite, I want to know. Tell me. You're not ruining my day. Okay. If it's not a UFO, great. We move on. I don't care. Okay. But if there's something in the sky that I'm like, what is that? I'm going to film it and I want people to tell me. Anyway. So what the fuck is that? So the very last one, there's the highlight on this. And there's only like 5 videos. You see a plane flying, but then on the left, you see something in the sky. And when I tell you it was changing colors, it was right by the Empire State Building. You know the Wingdings font? It's like hieroglyphic-y kind of thing. As I zoomed in, this giant ball that was completely changing colors. I wish I had it in slow-mo, or if I can make this slow-mo, or maybe, you know what, maybe I'll take a screenshot and just see. Like, yeah. See if it's, I swear to God, very clear looking stars, moons, plus signs. These shapes were appearing as I zoomed into this video. And Michael, my question to you, your best guess, what the fuck is that? Is that strange to you? That's not a drone. It's not a plane. And I do not believe it's a star. And I was like, God damn it, I think I caught one. And look, if I didn't, if you're an astrophysicist, look at this video and tell me. I am willing to, it's not defeat. I just want to make sure that it's not a UFO. Do you know what I'm saying? What do you think, Mike?
I mean, I'm looking at it now. I don't really, do
you see the shapes?
Yeah, I don't have an answer, but I'm also, I sit in the studio and make podcasts. So is it an alien?
I don't know, but it's something.
I don't know.
It's not human.
That I don't think we have enough information to say that.
No, but we don't have enough information to definitely say it's not a UFO. At least that, right?
But I don't think that's how logic works. You can't. I don't think
aliens don't operate by our logic, baby boy.
Yeah, but again, we're
that is a strange thing in the sky, though.
It might be strange because you and I don't know what it is,
right?
But that doesn't mean that it's like not human.
Yeah, but why would something fly over New York City? It would be like the fucking Navy would be like, shoot it down, Like if you know what I mean? Like
unless it's
like they shoot movies over New York City.
It could be anything. It could be. I mean, it could be a military. I'm sure it's not a military thing, but
because why would you just have it hovering over New York City at like 9 p.m.?
But maybe it is a drone.
It's not a drone.
How do you know?
Because drones, I looked it up. I'm like, is there a drone that's a ball of light that changes color that flies so high up in the fucking sky that I will be able to capture it like a mile above the Empire State Building?
Is that what you typed into Google?
Basically, yes.
I doubt. I mean,
I looked up the types of drones because a lot of times it will be a drone and I'm like, oh, okay. And yes, you can do drone light shows, but this was when I zoomed in and it was very clear, like wingding symbols. I was like, what the fuck? But
it could be a helicopter. The other thing is your phone. The other thing is that you're so far away.
But it was blinking like that. So the only thing to my naked eye, it looked very strange. And my naked eye and the camera that in the video, they're two totally different things. They're two totally different lenses. But as I zoomed in, I couldn't see that except on the camera. But like, I guess it could be a camera trick for sure.
Well, definitely, because your camera, you're taking footage of this with an iPhone camera.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
But cameras don't
10,000 feet away from this thing.
Yeah. All I'm saying is
that's what happens with cameras when you're not that close up.
Yeah.
Like if I were to try to shoot your shot right now from 100 feet away with even the camera that we're using now, we would get like the light would change. There's all sorts of stuff that would change.
Yeah.
And
okay,
I think it could be a helicopter. Why couldn't it be?
Because there were active helicopters flying by, and helicopter lights. And I've looked this up.
But why couldn't this be an active helicopter?
It has to be blinking. The helicopters don't have like disco ball lights.
But this is blinking.
It's rotate. Do you know what I'm saying? There's like a rotation to it.
But that could also just be because you're so far away from it.
Maybe.
I'm just saying. Like I don't think that there's.
It could be.
I think it would be huge news if there were two like real unidentified flying out. Like how often do you look out the window and just see some shit?
A lady was landing at JFK in the middle of the day, was filming New York City, and a UFO passed, and it did get the New York Post posted it, and the woman posted it.
Was it this?
And no one gave a shit afterwards. No, it was in the middle of the day, and it was literally a disc. It was a flying disc, and she slowed the video down. She goes, what?
Yeah.
And then no one cared after that. I'm like, guys, come on. We care about our face. We care about if we're a fat fuck. We care about what kind of shoes we wear, and we don't care about aliens? Your priorities confuse me. That's all I'm saying. But the other thing that was like, oh shit. And then I'm not hell-bent on this being a UFO. I'm just like, well, what is it? I want to know what it is. When I posted that on Instagram, all these naysayers, it's like, it's satellite. I got one person saying it was a type of satellite, and I looked it up and I was like, okay, maybe, but it doesn't look like it. And everybody else was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, right? What the fuck? So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, who knows, I think is the answer. Because I'm not, I mean, I don't know what that is either. I'm just kind of throwing things out there.
Okay, so there's another YouTube video I was watching because my algorithm is really like, here's all this crazy shit, you crazy bitch. Howard Stern, there was a montage of clips from Howard Stern over the years interviewing celebrities that have had ghost stories. And I love Howard. Howard, like, he's like, you really believe in ghosts? You're a logical person. I know you. You believe in ghosts. Really? Okay. All right. Like, he's so skeptical, but I love that because I think you should be. Van Halen, the lead singer of Van Halen, had 2 ghosts visit him and aliens visit him and communicate with him telepathically. What? Look it up, bitch. Courtney Cox. She moved into a house in California that Carole King used to live in. And Carole King came over to her house after it was sold to her and was like, hey, there's a ghost in the living room. And she was like, I'm glad you said that. Courtney Cox goes, I'm glad you said that, Carole King. Because a FedEx guy came yesterday and said, there was a woman standing behind me. And I looked behind and there was not a woman. And then the FedEx guy go, well, she just disappeared. This is scary. Here's your package, Courtney Cox. Thanks for making friends. Gotta go. See you later. And then her and Carole King had a seance in her living room and the ghost stopped bothering her. And I was like, that's cute as hell. Joey King, actress, as she was filming The Conjuring, that creepy ass movie, she was 12 years old when she was filming it. She started getting the most mysterious bruises on her body where she wasn't touching her body in these places. And she was so freaked out. And the doctor said she had this weird, wild medical condition. And the day she stopped filming The Conjuring, the medical condition just went away. And she goes, what the fuck? And the doctors were like, I don't know, man. And she goes, okay, there was a curse on this movie. Pink, the singer Pink from Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Get a Wawa, get a hoagie. Thank you. Pink asked her dad before he died what he wanted to come back as, and he said a bird of flight. Pink was very close to her dad. The day her dad died, she went home to her house afterwards, and she was alone in her room because she wanted to be away because she was, grieving immensely. She had French doors opened in the adjacent room where there was like a kitchen table type. She was in her room crying, and the adjacent room, she heard a commotion. She walked into that room and a hawk was sitting on her table. Ghost is real. And then Billy Corgan. Yo, Billy Corgan, that weird motherfucker. I love him. I think he might be an alien. That'd be so cool. He saw, and this was a really compelling little clip from Howard Stern. He saw 2, that was the one person, but he saw this one person do it twice. Shapeshift. Do you know what shapeshifting is?
Are you asking me?
This is a far out one. Yes. Have you ever heard of it, or is it something you
I've heard of it in comic books. Yeah,
right. Totally. As a comic book. That's why I'm like, the shape-shifting thing is a little far out there. However, but it's basically when somebody's face just changes to another face or to all black or or they just change as a person. And you're like, and that one, like I said, very far out there. I would have to see that shit in real life and be stone ass cold sober and well slept to believe that that's true. But I will say,
I don't know that that's true.
I'm with you. I'm going to offer up this information. I was talking to somebody that I know well, that I love and respect, and this person said she saw this, and I was like, "Yo, Billy Corgan," and she goes, "Girl, I saw that twice in strangers walking in the streets of New York over the last 10 years," and I was like, "What?" And then she described it to me. I'm not going to go into it, but I'm like, that's scary as fuck. I got chills when she was telling me. I'm like, oh, God. So in addition to psychic powers, aliens, afterlife, all that stuff, if you're out there and you've seen a shapeshifter, DM your girl at KRYSTYNA Hutch. I'm very curious. I'm not, maybe it's a shapeshifter. That one is going to take me longer to get on board with, but I'm willing to go there. You know I am. Okay. So DM me at KRYSTYNA Hutch. Now, before I get into just a little tiny chunk of the 6 pillars of self-esteem, and again, readings of the entire chapter are available at a $5 a month level, just here to listen on my Patreon, patreon.com/KRYSTYNA Hutchinson. You can also get access to all of the group Zoom Therapy recordings. It's a just here to listen level, $5. That's not bad, right? But if you can't afford it, it's okay. But if you can, do it. So I have the full chapter readings. I want to make, before I get into the 6 pillars, a casting call. I have a casting call for you guys, okay? 2 requirements for this casting call. And I'm going to say, I'm not going to give out my email, but if I want you to DM me on Instagram, because like I said, I check Instagram DMs all the time. I check the other inbox. And like I said, again, if you want to send me photos and videos, just wait for me to accept the message and us talking, and then send me the photos and videos. I do want those photos and videos. So 2 requirements, and this is for television. This is for a television opportunity. Okay? I need 2 things. If you fit these 2 criteria and you're interested in being on television, DM me. Okay? This is a serious project. Very excited. Would really love to talk with you if you meet these 2 criteria. 1, you are currently single. 2, you have had a near-death experience. Now, a near-death experience, I mean, good God, if you're like, what is that? Then this must be the first second you're ever listening to me ever. Where you medically die and you come back. Now, there's also experiences that can be very similar to medically dying and come back. And those are two other categories. So it makes our casting a little bit wider. But have you been in a coma? A lot. That one story I was talking about earlier from the nurse who was taken back. She had her life review. She didn't flatline. Most of them flatline at some point. Like they're actually dead and then they come back. She didn't she was in a coma, and she eventually figured out that she was in this dark space. But then she's like, I created this dark space. And the second she thought that, all the darkness went away and she was in wherever. So if you've been in a coma, you can also have experience that's very similar to an NDE. And I think this is only for people who are nurses, people who work in hospice, or the very, very rare occasion of if you happen to be there as somebody is dying. But there's something called a shared death experience. And if you don't know what it is, it means you haven't experienced it. That's all I'm going to say. But if you are like, holy shit, then you know exactly what I'm saying. It's almost exactly like a near-death experience, except you only go a certain part. I don't think you get to the life review part, but you do go somewhere else. And then you just come back. Those are crazy. But so those 3 things. So are you single, and have you had one of these types of spiritual experiences? If that is the case, and if you are interested in being on television, where a lot of people see you, and let me tell you, it's fine. It's good. We got to share these stories. I'm telling you, you're in good hands. And it involves me, and it also involves Corinne Fisher. Okay. So this project, DM me at KRYSTYNA Hutch on Instagram. It's KRYSTYNA Hutch, HUTCH. Okay. And while you're there, give me a follow. I need all the followers I can get. Because what are we if we don't have any followers? We're nothing. We're grains of sand. So yeah, if you fit those criteria and you're interested in being on television, DM your girl and we will chat. Okay. Now let's just read a tiny bit from the 6 pillars of self-esteem. And this one is the practice of self-responsibility. I'm going to read a paragraph up top, and then I'm just going to read a personal excerpt from the author about the role of personal responsibility and how it can wreak havoc in relationships. Ooh, that's where it wreaks the most havoc. Okay, to feel competent to live and worthy of happiness, I need to experience a sense of control over my existence. I mean, amen, sister. This requires that I be willing to take responsibility for my actions and the attainment of my goals. No one is responsible for you, baby girl. No one's going to come save you, sir. This means that I take responsibility for my life and well-being. Self-responsibility is essential to self-esteem, and it also is a reflection or manifestation of self-esteem. The relationship between self-esteem and its pillars is always reciprocal. The practices that generate self-esteem are also natural expressions and consequences of self-esteem, as we shall later discuss in this chapter. Now, again, the whole chapter can be found, me reading it with cute-ass commentary and personal stories that I'm too scared to share on this microphone, on patreon.com/KRYSTYNA HUTCHINSON. But let's go through a personal example from the author, Daddy Nathaniel Branden. A personal example. In the overall conduct of my life, I would say that I've always operated at a fairly high level of self-responsibility. I did not look to others to provide for my needs or wants, but I can think of a time when I failed my own principles rather badly with painful results. Let's get into it. In my 20s, I formed an intense relationship with novelist, philosopher Ayn Rand. You know that girl. Atlas Shrugged, baby. Over the course of 18 years, our relationship passed through almost every form imaginable, from student and teacher, hot, to friends and colleagues, to lovers and partners, sexy, and ultimately to adversaries. The story of this relationship is the dramatic centerpiece of Judgment Day. I guess that's a book she wrote. In the beginning, and for some years, the relationship was nurturing, inspiring, valuable in many ways. I learned and grew enormously, as we do, baby boy. But eventually it became constricting, toxic, destructive, a barrier to my further intellectual and psychological development. Oh, been there. We've all been there, right, Mikey? I did not take the initiative and purpose that our relationship be redefined and reconstituted on a different basis. I told myself I did not want to cause pain. Oh, such a straight guy move. I waited for her to see what I saw. I looked to her rationality and wisdom to reach the decision that would be right for both of us. In effect, I was a straight man. No, I was relating to an abstraction, the author of The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged, rather than to the concrete woman in front of me. And that's why dating a celebrity is hard, because you're like, they're so famous, oh my God. And then you're like, oh wait, they're also a person. I did not confront the fact that her agenda was very different from mine and that she was totally absorbed in her own needs. I delayed facing the fact that nothing would change unless I made it change. And because I delayed, I caused suffering and humiliation to us both. He does a really good job of describing, like Corinne and I have talked about on Guys Who Fucked, in straight relationships. A lot of times when the guy wants out, he doesn't say anything for a long time and he just waits for the girl to do it. And that's so destructive. Obviously, that's not just a guy thing, but he
classic move.
It is. It's a very common move. And he really goes into why this fucking pisses me off so much. To be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't want to be in it. And then eventually they're like, I'm waiting for you to break up with me. Ugh. Okay, so this is important. And because I delayed, I caused suffering and humiliation to us both. It is a very humiliating set of circumstances, I will say. I avoided a responsibility that was mine to take. No matter what explanation I gave myself, there was no way for my self-esteem to remain unaffected. Only when I began to take the initiative did I begin the process of regaining what I had lost. We often see this pattern in marriages. One partner sees before the other that the relationship is finished. Kaput. Pow. See ya. You're fired. But he or she does not want to be the bad guy, the one to end things. So instead, manipulation begins to lead the other to make the first move. It is cruel, degrading, lacking in dignity, and hurtful to both people. It is self-demeaning and self-diminishing. To the extent that I evade responsibility, I inflict wounds on my self-esteem. In accepting responsibility, I build self-esteem. Okay? And that's it. That's all I'm going to share. That's all I'm going to share. Guys, what a time. What a time. What a time to be alive. We're responsible for ourselves. Donald Trump Jr. saw my joke about his wife. And aliens is real. So DM your girl again. Casting for a TV show. If you've had a near-death experience and you are single, holler. Instagram DMs. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you're following Slickback Studios on Instagram and on YouTube, because full episodes of The Voices in Our Heads, as well as all these other amazing, truly amazing, I'm not just saying that, fucking podcasts on the Slickback Studio Network. Like the funniest motherfuckers in the game have a podcast on this network. So you're going to want to go follow Mikey Big Dick Don Coscarelli at Mike Coscarelli.
Yeah, that's right. And Slickback Studios is Slickback_studios.
Hell yeah. Okay, bye guys. Congrats on killing yourself. We're going to have an amazing day.